Greetings, everyone. It is GleeCon, and I'm back once again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Happy to be here, happy to be coming at you. On our last episode, we continued to read Dark Faction. We finally hit the main lore chapter, and so those episodes are now shrunk down to mini faction-specific blurbs because each one takes 10 to 15 minutes, and there's a lot of them. So rather than having this mega 3-hour plus video, I decided to break it down, and we discussed the Argent Dawn. I believe it becomes the Argent Crusade in Wrath of the Lich King. Just talked a little bit about that organization, so check out that episode if you want to hear some about that from a Dungeons & Dragons perspective as we wrap that up. We've also been playing World of Warcraft Classic. We just finished a little tripod of Red Ridge Mountain characters that all did the same episodes, or the same quests, over 3 episodes. So the last one we rescued Kishin on an escort quest with Maleficent, our little frost mage. And now we're going to jump into the world for a little change of pace with Muln. So stay a while and listen. It's been a while since we've quested with him. I don't know that I've quested on camera since I changed his spec. His first career path up through the first 20 levels or so that we watched him, I was trying to pull off the shaman tank. I did get a lot of pushback on that, and it was definitely more challenging to play than other tank specs. If you look right here, I am knocking on the door of leveling up. That's pretty nice, although it'll just be 23. But I've switched over. I went ahead and bit the bullet, paid the gold. I was always kind of disappointed because I had given myself 1 point in something I didn't want anyway. So I bit the bullet and paid the whatever it is. Once I think it's a gold. And I changed my spec over to Resto. So he's a kind of a leveling restoration spec now. We're going to take about an hour on this level. If you notice, there's all these quests in my populated again and in the Barrens, and his quest log is low because he is moving on. But I do have a shaman quest that I wanted to start first. So here's where things could get lost in the weeds. We did the same thing. We have been questing with 3 heroes in the Barrens for really quite some time. The Barrens is a huge zone, and it just changes the leveling experience of the Horde completely. Most characters in the Horde are going to funnel their way through in one way or another. Trying to look, I guess you don't really need the enhancements so much. We're playing this stack. But yeah, so it changes the leveling experience. Most people are going to funnel their way through, and on my off-camera exploration that I've been doing with the lovely Lady GleeCon, she and I have been comprehensively going through all quests. Same thing that I'm doing on this show, but we're doing it with just one duo for the Alliance and one for the Horde. So we have a couple of gnomes on the Alliance, a couple of trolls on the Horde. We tried to pick a race that, 1, she found cute, and 2, I found a commonality. In this case, they each don't have their own capital city, so the idea of them sort of being vagrants and running around all of the other faction quest zones just kind of sat right with me. I liked that. But in doing that, we have just finished all of the Baron's quests, and even though we've been questing for a comparable amount of time, I guess essentially, I don't know about in terms of like hours and minutes, but between the different dungeons available to the Horde, Ragefire Chasm, Wailing Caverns, Shadowfang Keep, as opposed to maybe just Deadmine so far for the Alliance, that coupled with the fact that the those characters are a few levels higher than the Alliance characters, despite having the Alliance characters. We've done more zones, kind of like our Alliance characters are now in the Red Ridge Mountains. So the Alliance hasn't even quite caught up, whereas the Horde is past where we are in the Horde for the most part. So we're going to do the Shaman quest. We did I wanted to do all of the class-specific quests on camera, so that's another thing. I made a mistake early in the creation of the show. I won't do it again. And this one's called Call of Water. We have fire totems and earth totems, and now I believe this is the chain that will help us with water totems. So we're going to talk to Island Waterseer. Later on, Varrock, our warrior, will come here for another quest, and we'll talk about that there. You've come further than many. Respect the elements around you, and you shall fare far greater than most. The wind approaches you quickly from the horizon. Earth is steady beneath your feet, and your spirit is already warmed by fire. I would say it is time for you to learn about the purity of water. Yeah, it says the wind approaches us quickly. We have earth and fire, but we don't have wind yet. Your path has led you this far, and your spirit will give you the strength to carry on even further. But the first step is yours to take. Awesome, we leveled up straight up with that. We gained some mana, talents points, strength, stamina, intellect, spirit. Just a nice patch. We'll look at the talents in just a second. If there is one lesson you must learn of water, it is this. Water means rebirth. Its power flows, erodes, and makes clean all manner of things. You will find its ability to heal and replenish incorruptible, but only when it is pure. When you understand that water, polluted, can devastate all that it touches, you will appreciate how vital a resource it is. You wish the water scepter find brine deep in southern barrens. Her home is continually molested by the crowbar. Okay, so we need to go deep into the southern barrens to find brine, right there. That doesn't seem that bad. We also have Camp Tarajo, which I don't even know why I have that. You were in the sky here, I just kept it. I guess, why the heck not? We're going to be going there on the way. So I guess we'll just keep it to turn it in, but we really don't need it. So, on our other episode, we really got lost in the sauce because we picked up the rogue quest, and that ended up being a globetrotting journey to learn both the thistle tea recipe, and it's one that I've been sitting on for a while because of the way that I was doing the show, and I changed it. I think this new format will be better for things like that. We should be able to have that happen less often, where we stay abreast of the class quests. But because of that, we had the Thistle Tea and the Venom both unlocking at the same time. I'm happy that we have Venom. It will really increase the damage on the gnomes that my wife and I have. I'm a warlock and basically just Shadow Bolt spec. All of my perks I pick go into Shadow Bolt, and she's the same type of spec. I'm kind of helping her. She just asks me what to pick, and I'm building her the same way that I've been building Talanji, and she has the Venoms, and even with suboptimal rotation, she's not a gamer. I'd say her rogue is probably out DPSing my warlock at this moment. Alright, so I'm going to have to look up what I want specifically, because it looks as though we sort of have some options. So maybe while we're on a flight path, I will do that. I think we are going to have to pick one up. But right now, we're either going to walk, if we can. We're going to fly down to Camp Tarajo. Probably going to have to walk, because the fact that I haven't turned that in makes me think we probably haven't been there. But maybe. It is the same camp that you pass through from Mulgore, so I take that back. I think we can fly right there. Direct flight, Camp Tarajo, and in that time, we will pick up this quest. I don't really feel like this is as long. My wife's troll is a shaman, and so I have escorted her on this same quest. So yeah, we're going to fly down to Camp Tarajo, and while we're flying, let's take a peek at the different talents that are available. So Classic, WoW, Resto, Leveling. I'm spelling that wrong, but I don't care. Google is smarter than I am, right? It can pick it up. Actually, I like Icy Veins. I prefer Icy Veins, although not every single time. So this, if you look, it says this is not. Let's look at this compared to what I am. That's not me. Oh, is this not Classic? No, it's Classic. Oh, this is Druid. I'm supposed to be Shaman. There we go. Okay, see, this is one thing I like, that it has this scaling slider. I don't always follow it. It kind of opens up by tiers. So but see, if you look, it's not the same class. No, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, that. Okay, so this is the one I'm following. And whatever, I don't care about slavishly sticking. So now I have choices for my next 2 points between these two. I can get Totemic Mastery, which will increase the radius of my totems. The radii of my totems. Which is cool. It's currently, it is right now a... Well, that's not a good one to pick. It says the ones that affect friendly targets. So my buffing totems only. So it's not going to affect, say, my fire totems, but it would potentially affect my healing totems. So this right now is 20 yards, so it ups it to 30. I like that idea, actually. Or I could have a 1 point dipped into the reducing interruption. I kind of like that also. But for now, let's just give the 1 point to Totem Mastery. And that one's locked and loaded. It's a one-time thing. And then we can really dip into the healing focus after that. I guess Healing Grace. Yeah, who cares about the threat generated by your healing spells? As you pick it up, I guess you never pick more than that. I guess maybe the turnaround is not worth it. And really, in group content, you're not healing that much. Even on your own, well, you could drop like a Stone Claw or an Earthbind Totem and kind of get your butt out of there and then healing focus up yourself. It's not that big a deal. As you can see, it picks up some elemental after a while. I don't know how far I'm going to take that route. It doesn't really start doing it until the end once you get down to the end. So once we have unlocked Manatide Totem, then you're kind of done and you can kind of start diversifying. All right, so we haven't turned this in with anybody else. I'm not even going to read it because we're going to do that off camera and I'm not picking up the next one. We might have already read it with Varrock, so one way or another, that's a Varrock's zone. I just kept it because it was like a free 140 XP. Why not? Alright, so my totems will be a little bit more effective now. That's neat, and we're going to continue to walk south here. Oh yeah, I forgot I can turn into Ghost Wolf form. What am I doing with myself? I always forget to use this. People are crazy. I was reading on... I don't remember if it was like a site like Icy Veins or if it was a Reddit, but someone had done the math, and I guess it's not incredibly hard math to do. Really, it's simple, like distance equals rate times time, but solved for time, with the constant added in of the time, the 3-second cast for Ghost Wolf, and perhaps you can reduce that with some specs. It depends, but let's just say you don't. So it was basically saying, okay, so you get 40% speed when you are in Ghost Wolf form. You have a 50% speed buff when you are in your mount, but the mount takes, I don't know, it must take longer than 3 seconds to cast, because otherwise you would never pick Ghost Wolf again. And it was, so if you just do the difference, let's say it's a 5-second cast, I'm not sure. So then you do the math, well, you're saving 2 seconds, but you're losing 10% speed. You do the rate of time, like the distance, and you could figure out the amount of yards your journey would take. When would you choose to use the Ghost Wolf over the mount? So you could do a little equation, and I can't remember what they ended up solving it for. 11 yards or 11 seconds is a break even or something like that. So somewhere, so if you're ever wondering when should I do this, and you don't just want to kind of just do it by your gut, it's out there. I would say also, if you are planning on gathering along the way, my character's a leather worker, so that doesn't really apply. But if you're planning on doing any gathering on the way, the fact that you can stay in Ghost Wolf form while gathering, that's annoying. And now I'm going to grasp them as I run. That has a cooldown, and they've slowed me as well, so they stink. And continue to drop that down, and we're going to go up here and see Brian. We're going right to business. I don't have an instant hot, which I like hots for this situation where I can heal and continue to run to recover from getting bashed.
What can I do?
Yes?
I have a feeling I know what you're going to ask me. What would possess someone to live out here in the deepest part of the Barrens? The threat of Quillbore all around and no protection. We all have our reasons to justify why we act the way we do. The real question is, what brings a lowly tauren to the deepest reaches of the Barrens to speak to a woman who obviously has no concern for her own well-being? I'm willing to bet we both know the answer to that. To find understanding, you must gain the sapta from me, and you must seek out only the purest forms of water. As you fetch the samples for me, take note of your surroundings. Be aware of the creatures that rely on the water, that protect it. See how it affects forests and deserts. Witness how the very substance that sustains life will force creatures to take lives. We shall start with a simple task. Down below my hut there is a pond of the precious liquid. Fill this skin with it and return to me.
Go with us.
And she literally means down below the hut right there. I think luckily Questy will kind of show that. But if you didn't have Questy, I've read on Wowhead some mini horror stories of people just trying to figure out where the heck am I going to find this out. But no, it's literally she wants dirty, muddy water from 5 feet away. The milady loves to complain whenever anything like that happens. She's like, they're 5 feet away. You couldn't be bothered to walk 5 feet. Really? I gotta look up also what my rotation is. I'm a little rusty on that. I feel like maybe I lead with lightning. When they get in range, I can hit them with a flame shock. And then, if I wanted to, I could have that stone skin totem up. Then I just wail. I guess rock biter weapon is actually, when I'm soloing, probably better. But in a dungeon, I probably stick to either frost or flame. 41 frost, 8 to 25 fire. Has a chance of causing. Whereas this is... Alright.
Loktar.
I probably want to have lightning shield on me at all times too.
I'm just about prepared to send you on your other tasks. Have you filled the skin yet?
Yes, I have a filled brown water skin now.
I know how protective the Quillbore can be. Even such a small water source is a vast hoard of wealth to them. They have great feasts when even the slightest rain comes to the Barrens. Water is sacred to their kind because it is so scarce. Do you understand? I thought some bloodshed might ensue if you tried to take water from the pool. It is a pity the Quillbore do not realize that all living things are tied together.
The only blood that was shed was me from an arrow in my butt.
That their greed only perpetuates the pain and suffering of their people. How much could they accomplish if they were to put their differences aside and their clans came together? Again, a pity, but more than likely a boon for the other races of the Barrens. Long ago I followed some companions into the Hillsbrad foothills. We defended ourselves from some tenacious humans who make their home there, and we found ourselves in a small town the Forsaken had taken over, Tauren Mill. It was there I found a most peculiar thing. In the center of town was a small well of fresh spring water. I'm not sure the plagued citizens of the town even realize its value. It's a small holy vestige in an unhallowed sea. Bring me a sample of that water in this water skin.
Farewell.
Well, that is annoying. And I have zero plans to take him out there. So that means we're never going there unless I do it now. So, as is a frequent theme on this freaking show, we are now going to take a trip to Tauren Mill. So here's where the time wasting will come into play. Where we're now on a journey. And this is where we all start to get into the crazy mind of GleeCon. Because as I travel and walk, and then I just start rambling about who the heck knows what. So I hearthed to Crossroads because it was a little closer, although crap, in hindsight, I probably should have saved that for the journey back. Oof.
How you doing, man?
So that's a shock. We're going to fly to Orgrimmar. Yeah, absolutely, I should have saved that for the journey back. Okay, so we're going to fly to Orgrimmar. Then we're going to have to take a Zeppelin to Silverpine, to Undercity. then we are going to... Let's see with what we've explored over there. Oh, gosh. What a bummer. Well, we've been there at least, so we have that. We've been to the Sepulchre, so we can at least fly to the Sepulchre, as we did on our episode with Talanji. Why the... I do hate this. It's forced. They're using class quests to funnel you into the other continent, which is just a pain in the butt, because if this is your only character ever, and you're just going to get deep into it, now this is a way that you would explore another continent you maybe never ever would have explored before. How would you get there without pre-knowing? I can't even imagine. That's, I guess, one of the things, the barriers to playing World of Warcraft. I can't imagine playing this game without a patient, friendly, and easily accessible guide. Now, whether you're internet savvy, and that comes in the form of guilds and research skills online, but just think about the arrogance kind of that comes from a game that requires that much. It's not spelled out for you, and that's part of what makes the game awesome. And I think obviously the model works to a certain extent, and it did even back in the day. It's what makes it feel like an open, a world, a living world. You have to... It's not just spelled out. There's not all these little helper things. Now, in retail, yeah, that's something different. You've got forced tutorials and stuff. So that's a little bit of a sitch. But I can't, and I might be not a purist, I guess, when it comes to the sense. And I know I should stop and kind of appreciate and smell the roses and eat the member berries. But a lot of the quality of life improvements I would not get rid of. Looking for group, while it has created certain cultures that suck, it's worth it. The trade-off is worth it for the convenience. I can't control people, including myself, and the tendencies that we have when you're participating in a far more anonymous process, like looking for group. The Zeppelin Towers, but then, yeah, how about this, the Zeppelin Tower being in the center of Orgrimmar? Very nice upgrade. Because this is a pain. Having instant ways to travel over to the other continents, like the port, instead of a boat, just being able to take a portal from Stormwind to Darnassus. Little things like that are... they make a big difference when you're... Or, I don't like that they necessarily removed all of these class quests, because I think they're cool. It's cool to earn your way back into the class. But I always forget which goblin, so I have to scan for the keyword here, Undercity.
Hurry back!
But like, this is a pain, and we obviously, this is a planned thing, because we just did this with the rogue. So their plan is, say, to take any kind of person and force them to go to the other continent. And offering breadcrumb quests to the other continent, that part's fine. I feel like that's what they should do. Take some breadcrumbs, leave it up to the player, but this, I can't gain an entire element. I will not be able to access water totems, which is unacceptable as a healing person, unless I do this chain, which is forcing me to travel into like with Holm here. I had no plans. Maybe endgame I might send him to the Eastern Plaguelands. Like, I have no plans whatsoever of having him quest in the Eastern Kingdoms. Now he has to go over there. So that's me whining and moaning. This is pretty cool. This guy's outfit is dope. Kazani, I mean, he's level 60, I'm not surprised. It's actually very similar to the heirloom shoulder pads that you can get. like all of this set is like a cooler version of the heirloom set that you can equip. Dang it, that's the wrong. No, there's our Zeppelin. Good. So he's a Centurion. That must be some cool PvP stuff that he's getting. He does look very cool. The person's only 22, Bradga. So I am just a little cow. Now I'm a wolf cow. There should be little horns or something. That would be cool. Look, that's a warg pup. That is Kazani's companion. He's this guy's bedecked. He's got his Frostwolf Howler, which I believe you can only buy that if you are, if you're like exalted with one of those PvP factions. I tried to howl. He's sniffing me. This guy is sniffing me and barking at me. He isn't work. He's got his pets. I wish I could do like Wagtail or Howl or something, but the Blessed Blade. He's a shaman too, like I am. But yes, he's obviously someone that's got himself pretty deep in there. And our characters will get there too. Now, will we take the time? Probably not. Like, definitely not. I'm not going to take the time to max out the rep on any of our characters, especially not PvP rep 1, because I'm not a PvPer. I will do it sometimes, especially for achievements on my main, but it's hands down the least enjoyable thing about WoW for me. I just don't like it. I just don't like PvP culture in games that much. As you know, that's just not my style. I like to collect the lore and appreciate what people do. I'm just not a PvPer, and I know that's not PvP content's very popular. People like to see that, and I get that. I'm not throwing shade at it or anything. It's just not for me. I feel like life can kind of present its own stress, and while some stress is positive, I don't need the stress of like constant judgment that comes in PvP, especially in now group PvP. I guess it's like a team sport, and that's where I guess it's a little. I don't know. That might have been death right there. It jumped too soon. Alright, but guess what? We have time. I'm just going to go ahead and res and take the res sickness. Because it's going to cost me some money, and this guy can't afford it, but we're going to be walking for more than 10 minutes, so who the freak cares? Oh, this way. So, I guess if you're willing to sacrifice the 25% that we will need for... Look, that guy's already, because of his mount, he's already ahead of me. Alright, so... Yeah, I guess I should have had my mount on, then I could have... Whatever. Get ourselves on the elevator. My wife always misses it. Every single time, I'm like a step ahead of her whenever we come to the Undercity, and she will always have that door slam in her face. Every single time. Alright, so now, yeah, we've already done one of our 10 minutes. I need to repair, which that part's unfortunate. Let's find out how much my dumb move cost me. That's general goods. I'm not going to go too far looking for a repair guy. We'll just repair in the sepulcher. So I can now fly to the sepulcher. At least I've been here to turn in some quests or whatever. Alright, so the easy part of the journey is pretty much over. I wish, you know what, there's an ancestral recall spell that shaman get as well. I don't think I have that either though. That would be cool. Basically, it's like a second Hearthstone. Actually, I think it's on the same cooldown as a Hearthstone. Oh, look at this. I don't have Cure Disease or Cure Poison. I have Cure Poison, but I don't have Cure Disease on my hotbar. Well, let's go through my things and check out. Well, I don't know how I missed that. Okay. I also don't know why I kind of have those separated, but whatever. I have Healing Wave rank 4, got it, and I find my Lesser Healing Wave. A Poison Cleansing Totem requires a Water Totem, so I have it, I just haven't learned it yet. So I can cure poison, but then I can also have a poison... So constantly healing poison with a totem. That's cool. Alright, so let's move the earth ones over into the buff kind of area, even though those are really not buffs. And then we'll keep the fire as a damaging, and we'll take our poison cleansing totem. I have it right there with tremor totem too. Purge. Yeah, that's an earth totem. I should actually take tremor totem. Kind of put that up there too, but I guess not. So maybe we'll put poison cleansing totem in there too. Yeah, so we're gonna need to be modifying the hotbar very soon. This character, because he has a lot of stuff. All right, so let's see if I can pay someone to repair. Not whatever. I guess it's not the end of the world. Screw it. We'll repair in Tauren Mill or something. I might die again, so what's the point? Alright, we're down to 7 minutes. I guess I didn't put that on there because I don't have the water totem yet. Elemental, do I have Searing rank 2? Yes. I have Lightning rank 4. Cool. I guess I'll put on Rockbiter. Lightning Shield. There it goes, 6 minutes. Stone Claw rank 2, yep. Which I guess I would just set that down. That could help me with the grasping. Water breathing. Oh, I don't have water breathing anywhere on my list. Water breathing is kind of a silly spell though, because it's first of all it requires fish scales, but also I don't know why I just don't have this. Maybe you just get it automatically and I just missed when I got it. But I haven't been collecting shiny fish scales. And I don't have a water breathing form, that's my druid. But, yeah, somehow I missed that. I do have the ancestral spirit. Yes. Okay, so we're good. I have first shock rank 3, Fire Nova totem. Oh, I didn't put, what the heck was I doing? I don't know if I just skipped flame shock rank 2. Maybe I didn't, whenever I leveled up that time, whatever time this was, I didn't upgrade my toolbar. Possible. Flame Tongue rank 2, Frostbrand, Ghost Wolf, Lightning Shield, Rockbiter 3, Stone Skin, Earth. Okay, that looks to be everything. Alright, so that fleshes out my toolbar some, and we're halfway done on our res sickness. We're making our way to Hillspread. And once we get to Hillspread, if you remember from doing this with Talanji, we're going to have to walk over there. Hillspread is a lot safer to travel through as a horde than it is as an alliance, because we don't have to worry about, even though it's an alliance questing zone, you don't have to worry about the elite patrols that can kill you. However, this part's a little bit more dangerous because all of these Dalaran mages are hostile, but to the Alliance, they are not. So I would say the Horde zones offer a lot more contested areas. Like, I would consider this to be contested. I would consider Southern Barrens to kind of be contested. Whereas with the Alliance, I can't think of a zone right now that's really like that. You have... all the way up through Loch Modan on that side, not contested, I wouldn't say. Wetlands, now we haven't really gone that far into that. We haven't gone up this far to the north, and nothing in the zones around it. I guess potentially, okay, so it's possible in Redbridge that those Blackrock orcs would be non-hostile, but I don't think so. I think there's a pretty solid chance that BlackRock, I don't know, I would say it's 50-50. Because Dalaran is not, I mean, I guess it's technically part of the Alliance. Kind of, but they're also their own thing. They're definitely neutral by the time you get to Wrath of the Lich King and beyond, because it's a neutral capital. But they certainly were once upon a time, if you think about on our previous episodes from a while back, where we really got into and discussed with novels and the games of Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3. Dalaran was one of the nations, the 7 nations that formed the Alliance. And in Warcraft 3, they're definitely part of the Alliance. You do some missions going in there. Same thing for Warcraft 2. So, I don't know at what point do they fully leave the Alliance. I think they're kind of already doing their own thing, because they were destroyed in Warcraft 3. The first one. Kil'jaeden destroyed them. I believe it was Kil'jaeden. Yeah, Kil'jaeden or Archimonde. One of those two of Sargeras' minions just snapped his fingers. If you remember the CGI video, he forms Dalaran out of sand or something, and then blows or snaps his fingers or something, and the whole town disappears. And now they're in this weird protected bubble that you can't penetrate. And there will probably be some quests later on. We still have 2 minutes on our Howl, on our res sickness, so we're making pretty good time. I'm really annoyed that I didn't use my Hearthstone, because now this journey is going to be sucky to go back to Orgrimmar, whereas I could have just spent a couple minutes walking and flying to Camp Tarajo and then Hearth right back to the Crossroads. So I really screwed the pooch on that one. We are making good time. The episode's been maybe about 30 minutes long. But this is where it gets to be just so where we get lost in the sauce. This is how you spend an entire episode just doing a couple class quests because of the travel aspect. But that is part of the experience of Warcraft Classic. So if you want to watch a show where you will spend half an hour at a time watching some dude with a big forehead talk about crap, sometimes kind of complaining about the game. Every now and then he talks about the game while he walks on roads. This is the show for you. Alright, so I been playing some Diablo 4 lately. Let's change pace. This was something that we said we would talk about some of this show. There is kind of a ramp up going on right now. I've been playing it a lot the past few days because the first season of Diablo 4 kicks off on the 20th. Today is the 17th, so I have 3 more days. Counting today. Oopsie. Don't do that. Don't do that to Poppy. At least I finally got attacked right after my res sickness got taken away. So because I bought the enhanced edition or whatever, I get the first season free, so I did want to take advantage of it. One thing that really sucks about Diablo 4, and in a way, to a lesser extent, Diablo Immortal, and this is what I think Blizz is starting to push people to do. I would have done Dragonflight this way, but I don't like this. But Blizzard is forcing players, they are channeling them to play the game in the way that they want them to play the game. So they have, and I've never seen it worse than it is in Diablo 4. Now in Dragonflight, here's what I mean by that. Take someone like me. I am a completionist. I am a lore master. I am a every nook and cranny. I don't know what that little sound was. It must be an ad. I am one of one. I even recognize that. I've had that ad so many times on my phone and everything. One of one. Look at that skin, girl. But the way that I want to play a game is not the natural experience. I want to go and scour. I want to walk through every zone with a fine-tooth comb. I want to find every secret, in Diablo 4, every altar of Lilith, every side dungeon, every side quest before I move on to the next region. And I want to work my way through. And when games make you come back, like God of War, Ragnarok, make you come back after you unlock certain things, ooh, it annoys me, but okay. They're making you at least, like, unlock this element and then come back and revisit the territory. Alright, I get it. It's not my favorite, but I get it. If you just do it a pinch, I can tolerate it. But in Diablo 4, you get, the game's broken up into 5 regions, I think, maybe 6. I think it's 5. And as you progress through each region, you get some very powerful unlocks. They're like dead oxen just laying in the middle of the road, like decayed. All right, we're not doing any major quests here. We're just gonna turn in the Call of Water. Where am I supposed to be getting this? What does it say? Fill the empty water skin at the well. Okay, here's a well right here. Okay, water sample, and then we also want to get the flight path. Okay, and then what am I supposed to be doing? And then return to Brian. So we traveled all this way, just picked that up. That is so dumb. Like you're not even engaging with any of the content. That's what makes it stupid. It's
What do you require?
What was the narrative purpose? You know, why are we doing that? Well, we did it because they wanted to expose Kalimdor Central characters to questing in this part of the world because they like this part of the world. It's a contested zone. So I'm not going to rant on that anymore. Back to Diablo 4. My rant on that. So what they do is there are tiers of unlocks as you progress. There's a lot of really fun things that just tickles me. My kind of cup of tea. There's tons of side quests. There's tons of areas to explore. There's tons of hidden altars called Altars of Lilith that, if you haven't played the game, that unlock permanent stat buffs, not just for your character, but for all characters across all accounts. Everything that you unlock is shared with all of your characters on all of your accounts, including with the seasonal characters that you'll make as they open up their seasons in a few days. And you also unlock very important things like skill points, permanent skill point unlocks, Paragon points. The Paragon system, I love it. It's super cool. But having the extra Paragon points is a big deal. Potion slots. You start the game with the ability to hold 3 potions, and Diablo 4 is a lot more demanding than... Like, Diablo 3 is a cakewalk. You can just go from start to finish. That game it's just easy. It is not. Like, I without even trying, I've hit, like, max level, like, Paragon level 500 hardcore characters without really sweating. You just pick the right build and you're fine. It is not like that with... now, Diablo 2 is different. Diablo 1, all of the other ones have had some challenge, but Diablo 3 definitely eschewed that. I love all the Diablos. Diablo 3, the Diablo series is a series I've played second to none except for World of Warcraft. Final Fantasy Tactics really close in there. That's Final Fantasy Tactics. We'll have to talk about that if you've on another episode. That is, where does the insanity that is GleeCon come from, and where does all of my crazy completionist approach? You can see it in its original form in my young teenage and college self playing through Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the first time I ever embarked on a mission like this. So anyway, the fact that you get these potions is a big deal. The difference of having 5 potions instead of 3, or 8 potions instead of 3, is immense. It's game-changing. So, they tease you, they give you the ability to unlock a little bit of this stuff, But most of the unlocks, you don't have, half of them you cannot have access to until you can switch the game to the 3rd tier of difficulty. The 3rd tier of difficulty is locked behind beating a particular dungeon, which does not, on all of them, you have to beat a capstone dungeon, which I like that concept. Cool, fine. But you can't unlock the capstone dungeons until you beat the campaign. So you also can't play seasonal until you beat the campaign. And then they made an announcement saying, hey, guess what? All of your seasonal characters, I didn't know this was going to be the case, your seasonal characters are going to have access to everything that you've unlocked on freaking normal campaign. So 5 days before launch, I mean, I guess I could have researched this. They dropped the bomb that I hope, because what I've been doing is, then I stopped. What I was doing is I took my main character and I don't remember if this is the one that takes us back to Orgrimmar. Yes. I took my main character and I started completing the first thing. Then as I got to by the time I finished the first zone, I was, level 100 is the max, and level 50 is when you're supposed to, when the game is designed to stop scaling at tier 2 and you should be moving into tier 3. So I had taken myself all the way up to like level 52 or 53, just 100%ing one of the 5 zones. So there's so much content that you could easily max yourself out 5 times over. So I was kind of doing that with I made one character of each class, and I was playing through my own rate, and I kind of had a main. And then I realized, well, I'm running out of time. I need to beat the campaign. And then also, all of this work I'm doing, I don't get the benefits for until I beat the campaign. So then I was like, screw it. Now I'm going to rush through the campaign. So Blizzard, that's what you've done with me. If anybody from Blizz ever watches that, you created a situation where me, a lore master, I love the lore. I literally just rushed through the campaign as fast as possible. I did not savor. I did not enjoy nearly as much as I would have had I been allowed to do it my way. And the reason why is because I paid for content that I can't have unless I played the game that way. And now you're telling me that this new seasonal content, everyone that has rushed through and done all of the unlockable perks, because I've been splitting my time playing with multiple characters. I don't have all this. I've got the game like maybe 50% unlocked. So everyone that's rushed through and just gone for the perks and not been super duper thorough, they're all above. They're going to have a humongous advantage against me. So you're making it to where, yeah, it's just, in hindsight, yeah, there's no real solution. It's too late now, but what Blizzard wanted you to do was pick one character, pick and stick. Pick one, stay with it, that's your character. Rush through the storyline on tier 1 difficulty, which I also went to tier 2. Bad idea. Tier 2, it gives you a 20% increase in XP, and the monsters are so much freaking harder. It's like frustratingly hard, which is good. Whatever. Okay, so I'm better at the game. Another thing that I really didn't realize was the importance of fully maximizing. Also, you share all resources across all of your accounts, so all of your gold, all of your scrap material it's shared across all accounts. So I was constantly running out of gold, and then I realized, oh, because I'm buying things on all my accounts, that's unsustainable. What you need to do is, if you do decide to make alts, they can't share in the love, you better not spend any money or anything on them. So there's just a lot of little things that I do hope they change over time, and it won't even freaking matter because the damage is done for me. I've beaten the campaign, so I've unlocked this stuff with other people. That's fine. And the season's gonna come or whatever. It's just, I don't know how I'm gonna... I don't even know, like, since you're not progressing through the campaign, what's the point? I really liked in Diablo 3 and Diablo Immortal the seasonal kind of goals you could go through. I thought that was fun. But all that being said, the game is great. If you like Diablo, I would say it's much better. I like it better than... I mean, Diablo 1 is kind of a class on its own. It's one of one, girl.
What do you need?
Alright, so finally we're going back to Camp Tarajo. See, geez, look at this. We are now... essentially, we literally have spent half an hour on traveling there and back. It's a bummer. It's better than Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is probably my least favorite. There's a lot of things I liked about it. No. Diablo Immortal is my least favorite, I gotta say. It just can't escape from the fact that it feels like a phone game when you play. It did introduce tons of innovations and elements that I love. And they 100% are building on that. It's things that evolved from Diablo 3 that then evolved. Now, I haven't played the remaster of Diablo 2. Like I said to Cuzzy, one of my hardcore listeners, if I do a spin-off channel of this channel, it would be a Diablo playthrough, and at that point in time, I would do... And I'm considering doing it. I don't know. But Diablo 1, we would play through that. That's a beast on itself. If I played through Diablo 2, I would do the remastered version instead. Diablo 2 is fun. Diablo 2 just hit me in a weird period of my life when I just never got into that one as much, honestly. I played the heck out of it. Just nowhere near as much as any of the other Diablos, except maybe Diablo Immortal. I played Diablo Immortal recently. I really just played it so I could get the storyline, because I didn't enjoy it. There's too many things I don't like that the game is incentivized to incentivize microtransactions and pay to win. Which it's a phone game. It's a free phone game, so you can't shake that. But Diablo 4 is great. The one thing that has changed that really annoys me is the always online open world component. Diablo is cool because I never really engage with it in that way. I do love couch co-op. It's one of my favorite couch co-op games, and they still have that. You can still do that. 2-player now. It used to be that you could play 4-player, which is cool because I like to play with my wife and my son. And you can no longer do that in Diablo 4. It's only a 2-player couch co-op. But it's also my wife. We're not playing it right now because we are focused on this Warcraft lore master journey. Because my wife sees me make the show. I guarantee you, she has never gone on YouTube and searched this up. Over 1,000 episodes, I 100% guarantee you she's never clicked it one time. She could care less. But I think she probably has this tiny tickle of curiosity in the back of her head because I've been making this show for so long now, over a year and a half, and she hears it in the background of her life. She sees me doing it. She knows I spend a lot of time on it. When we play, I try to, because we sit in the same room, I try to kind of offer some insights and contextualize some of the stuff that we're doing, and I think she's mildly interested. I mean, it's a game she plays because she loves me, and she's a trooper of a wife. But I do think she enjoys it. I mean, how much, there's only so much you would do to just be a trooper. I think she likes it. I think she really likes to kill anything in the game. She hates the running around. She is meh towards the lore. She'll listen to it, but she's definitely, she could probably take it or leave it. My son's the same way, honestly. It's so funny that I am so hardcore about the lore, and both of them are like, meh. Like when I was playing Heroes of Might and Magic, my son really likes to just play whatever game I start playing. Then he'll play for 5 seconds, and he'll be like, oh, this is a very challenging game from the 90s. Why the heck am I playing this when I have Tears of the Kingdom or whatever that I can play? But he'll, like, a lot of the times want to play at the same time as me, so I'll help him find another version. Like, all the Heroes of Might and Magic games you can play for free, like, on emulators or, like, web browser-based versions. So when you play, like, Heroes of Might and Magic 2 or 3, you can play them online, but you don't get any of the, like, cutscenes or story. So he'll go to play and he'll be like, oh, look, Dad, you know, all the cutscenes and story are cut out of the game. It just goes right into the game. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you can watch them over here if you want to see the story first. They'd be like, nah, I don't care. Doesn't bother me. I don't need the story. Just wants to do the gameplay. Oh man, my wife and I finally found the harvester. The freaking miracle. I am not looking forward to having to grind that out with Varrock. I might save that for like its own quest and then grind it out myself and then start recording when I find it or right after I find it or something. Just have that on tap, ready to roll. Wash Tepane, we just passed him. That's not really a rare spawn, it's just a spawn. But remember if you watch the show we did, there's a there's that bog beast in Teldrassil that is a spawn. It's like that. It's a super. It might even be a more rarer spawn. They're just a pain in the butt. Like that. Just waiting for myself to de-aggro. Alright, we finally did your stupid journey.
Glory to the Horde.
The well remaining pure within the town reminds me of stories told to me when I was younger, Mole. Even in times of great pain and sorrow, one can find a sliver of hope, a small symbol to rally around. The Orc people see Thrall this way. He survived against great odds and rose up to lead our people through his strength and example. I'm not sure any Orc has suffered as much as he has, but at the same time, I'm not sure any Orc is as strong as he is, either.
Let me get some water. Doing that Orc voice.
This is good, Mole. You're dedicated to the task at hand and have the ability to seek out that which is needed. One more sample is all I need to create the reagent needed for your Sapta. Eileen will be pleased as well. Take this water skin and head deep into the lush forest the Night Elves call Ashenvale. It is far to the north of the Barrens.
Am I ever going there? With Moln? No, but at least this one's not that far away.
Once you've entered the forest, travel west, along the mountains that separate Stone Talon and Ashenvale, and beyond Lake Mistral you will find a holy place, the ruins of Stardust. At the center of the lake you will find a small fountain. Bring me a sample of the fountain's water. It will be the final component you'll need before I send you back to Island.
Strength.
Son of a biscuit. Well, okay, so we're going up to Ashenvale. So this quest, this episode is now just about coming up on an hour. So much like our rogue, we are getting sucked into the quest, the shaman quest line, and unlike the rogue, this quest line sucks. What the WTF? I might die again. Come on. I have to drink a potion at this rate. They've got me so slowed. Come on. Just they just constantly stun you and slow you. There we go, I survived. Unless they're healing wave. Oh my gosh. Come on, bros. This is annoying. I'm just trying to get through this field, and it's like becoming a life or death situation. Alright, so we've got to fill this stupid water flask up yet again. Okay, so I'm going to go up to Camp Dorajo and fly to the crossroads. Now, up in the Ashenvale, we're just going to cut over and do that. I think we cut through there with Our Lady once. Or Callie. But, yeah, we're just going to run and try to survive. Should be kind of okay. I mean, I'm level 23. He's starting to be kind of low. Unlike the, I mean, we did a whole episode with the rogue, but at least the rogue quest was cool. This is literally running around the world, filling up water skins. Like this is not even a fun quest line. Like at least the paladin one, where I went for the paladin gear, you had to fight, you had to do interesting things. This is just walking to different spots and collecting water, and they are extremely far away from each other, and it sucks the butthole. But I want to finish it because I want to at least on the next episode be able to start stone telling. So this really slowed down. This will be just like with this will be a shaman interlude, a shaman aside. So yeah, I do like Diablo 1. Diablo 1 was that game is challenging. There's some fun things about it. I think when so my plan, and I've already started kind of percolating in my mind. What I want to do on that one is I want to, if there's lore, if there's any kind of Diablo lore, I'll include it. I'll look it up and check it out. I don't know how much Diablo lore there really is. I would make it as a parallel channel to this. I would make it in a way to where it doesn't cut down the number of episodes that go into this show. Those are concerns that I would have, which is why I haven't started it. And this is just, it's in the formulating stage, so they kind of have to like form in my mind and germinate, and then I have to really just kind of work the logistics out in the background for a long time. It might take, like, this plan to do a World of Warcraft show, it probably percolated in my brain for like a year before I kicked it off. But then in this, and as you've seen, the show's kind of evolved, and I learn and change as it goes. There's a lot of other things that I would like to do if I had all the time in the world. And once I hit certain milestones, there's things, if I was getting requests that I'd want to do, like one thing I would like to do is to re-record just the lore, not the games, and or if I did the games, like not the actual questing, just do the parts where I read the actual quests itself, just the lore part, and in-game lore, stuff like that, dialogue, which that could almost be found straight up on Wowhead. So maybe doing something like that. But anyway, just doing it as a podcast, for the audio content only. But I want to, when I do that, I want to make sure that the audio quality is going to be, that I've learned enough and I've made enough changes that it would be worth it. And I want a little more time to elapse, because it's, like I said, it's been a year and a half. If I'm going to go back and read some of these books, which are just mediocre, I want a little bit, just so that they're fresh enough that I can be enthusiastic. I also want to get further along in this thing first, but I think since what I'm doing on the show is predominantly auditory, I think you can listen to the show without the video a lot. And I mean, so sure, me right now playing the games, watching would be cool, but I do think there's an area for that. It wouldn't be as fun for me initially. Like right now, this is just a hobby for me, and I think whatever, it's cool. I have some people that want to come along for the ride and pop in and watch episodes from here and there from time to time, and that's cool, and I like to provide that. Or there's a couple books I found that are harder to unearth, and they don't really have audio content, so I've created something that there wasn't a need for, and so some people can go online and listen to a book on tape, and I just wish the audio quality was better for that. And I think I could provide that better. But yeah, so that's one thing I've been kicking around. That'll most likely at some point I'll get motivated to do that. There's this Diablo. I want to go through the journey with Diablo. There's restructuring of the way that I did the show. I would tweak things and reshuffle. You know, there's just ways that I would make it better. There's ways that I would make this content better. Like, I'm already kind of using some iterations right now. I think it would be cool. Going through and pouring through every quest in existence and making my own data sheet would be a very big undertaking, but it would allow me to do certain things that could streamline the process. I would have nothing happen off camera. I would do things slightly differently. Like when we go to, as soon as we move on to Burning Crusade, I'm going to change the format. When we go to retail, I'm going to change the format of the show. So, of the way that I play. So there's just little things like that. Alright, so we finally made it to Ashenvale. We have to kind of cut over to this big old lake. I don't know how hard it's going to be to get there. Hopefully I don't die. If I do, hopefully the graveyard is actually closer to the lake that I need to go to. I still have 13 minutes before I can hearth. That's probably just outside of our window. We've gone just over an hour now. I just want to finish this questline. Golden is just making it take a while. Alright, so I have hit a barrier. It's an Alliance town. Fantastic. So, I hope they don't aggro and kill me. They've aggroed. I hope they don't keep following me so persistently that I die. They did shoot me once and take off a quarter of my life. Okay, they de-aggroed. That's good. I did escape death at the hands of the Silver-Winged Refuge. Great. Level 27. Fantastic. That's what I was really hoping for, would be me getting attacked by very strong creatures. Thanks, Blizzard. Now these are lower levels. That's good. 21. Hate you. Kill me. Jeez Louise. I freaking... Well, it's right there, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and take the res sickness again, because I just don't care. Yeah, I know. So now I've lost half my durability on my items. So this... Oh, I'm way over here. So now I might as well follow the road and get the flight path. This quest is not giving me any gold, so this is straight up caught between flight paths. Yeah, I had over 2 gold when we started, so this is just costing me. This is an example of bad questline. If it leads to consistent frustration, what are you doing? Are you doing it wrong? Or it's bad design. So, for instance, should I maybe be at a higher level or group content? No, because I have skills I can't use without this water totem. So the high level, no. Group content, no. You can't do group content with it would be ridiculous to hopefully you can find a group of shaman to do this with that are of the same level with you. And if that's the expectation, this sucks. It's pushing you into areas faster than you want to go there. Whatever, I'm just being a complainer, being a negative Nelly. Sorry, guys. Try to be better. But yeah, so I think this Diablo one, I just really like that franchise a lot. I think it's very fun. Totally different kind of experience in this game. There we go, this guy can repair. How much did I lose? 13 silver. Alright, so let's follow the road along, I guess, as best we can, because obviously going off-road was how I died on that one. We're down to 10 minutes, so around the time that my res sickness will be healed is when I will be able to hearth back, and then they're going to want me to go to the lady. Just hoop. Hoop, I say. Alright, so we need to travel through Ashenvale. It says on the border between Stone Talon, there's a mountain range. This character is... This is where Talanji will be questing and starting on her next episode. On our next playthrough, we'll be doing... Shalacir, yeah, I think she's... I kind of think she... Oh, yeah, she took herself over to the wetlands. So she's actually going to be doing this weird wetlands quest to finish up this chain, and then she'll be going and starting... Ashenvale from her side, so the Alliance. And then Farinel is... He's already in Hillsbrad, so he's already questing there, so he'll continue questing in Hillsbrad. That'll be the second one. And then we'll do one more with Callie, where she's in Stone Talon as the Alliance side. And it's a little tough, but I think she's in a spot where she's better than she was. She can handle it. So with LVUI, if you kind of hover over here in the bottom right corner, it'll show all your characters on your account with how much gold they have and their level and stuff like that. And I just tried to hover down there and do that. But I really do like this kind of thing. I like to go back and I like to produce the content. So if I really wanted to do a thorough job, one thing that I would consider doing would, yeah, like I said, make this, if I did it as a podcast form, I would make every single quest, and then what I would do is I would record the audio of me. I would play the quest without talking. Or actually I wouldn't. I would just go on Wowhead. I would look up all these quests, and then I would queue up all, because you're only going to hear the audio, I would queue up a bunch of quests, and I would make mini quest chains, and just read through. I know there is a mods that will read with much better voice acting than myself, read all of the quest data or whatever dialogue, and that's cool. There's definitely people that have, they're professionals. This is what they do. Their voice is better than mine. Their accents are better than mine. They use programs, filters, like things that can modulate the sound of their voice. And that it sounds better, I'm sure. But, with me, you get me. The same 5 voices that I have up my pocket, and weird commentary, just non-stop talking to fill in the interstitial spaces where we're traveling for 90% of an episode. And I truly do hate making episodes like this where I spend over an hour and it is literally me just running around. So I'm trying to talk about things that are related to Blizzard and the world of Warcraft at large. And see, there's Astronar, so that's death. That's an Alliance town. We don't want to go anywhere near there. And we're getting close to where we need to go. I just don't want to die because I don't want to get teleported way back there. I will seriously lose my mind if that happens. But these stags are neutral. That's a bear. It. I have res sickness, so I can't even entertain the notion of just fighting him to get him off my back. Alright, looks like we have a path potentially leading us to the ruins of Stardust. Here we go. We've uncovered the spot on the map where this is at. Where are we supposed to fill this up at? Just says fill it at the... So are we just supposed to fill like from this water right here? Fires the ruins of Stardust Fountain. There's a freaking guy right in there, you... Bro. Not cool, bro. Okay. Alright, so the res sickness makes this a dangerous proposition. I do not want to fight because of my res sickness. I didn't realize this stage they are taking me into a spot. There's a guy right there. There's a guy right there. I don't want to thread that needle. Maybe there's a spot around the lake I can... See, this is like self-imposed frustration, self-imposed difficulty because... Oh gosh, they're everywhere. I could just kill. If I didn't have res sickness, I'd be in a better spot. If I could run across the freaking water. That guy right there. I think there's one. That guy's stopping me from running around. I'm like hemmed in by these stupid... Okay, maybe I can get a little more creative if I come this way. Up over the side of this mountain. I mean, I have 2 minutes to kill, so there's nothing to hurt me. Like it won't hurt for me trying to figure this out this way, because why not? Alright, so I found, it looks to be a spot of where I can cross the water at least. Son of a biscuit! I was wrong. Jeez Louise. I made a terrible mistake. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Can I just kite him around for 30 seconds? Then I could probably... Oh, good. He got... I don't know if he got tired. I don't know. You gotta be kidding me! Eight seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be out of mana here. He's already taken off all of my... Jeez. I don't care about that. I gotta just save my mana for healing, and I'm gonna just try to grind this dude out. Okay. Okay, that was not pleasant, but I lived. Cutting it close there, old Leecon. Where is the well or fountain? Right there, that blue thing. Okay. Now let's go back in my totem. And I'm gonna shock and bolt this guy. He's hiding from me. Come on, bro. Don't be like that. Okay. He's a jerk who's casting a storm on me. Alright, so... Whoa, I got a shredder operator manual? I think that's a... like an Ashenvale thing. I'll stash that. But I'm not going to quest an Ashenvale, so I don't... need it. Go for this guy here. Okay, and I think it'll be alright. I think I can get into the well at this point. I will luckily at least be able to hearth. I got another page. I have page 7. It says pages 5 to 8. Yeah, so I'm just getting all of these things. Okay, I can finally get this water sample. Jeez Louise. And hearth back to the crossroads. What an annoyance. Okay. Where am I supposed to be going? Back to her? Oh, yes, because then she already said she's going to send me back to Island or whatever. So... Disgustamente. That's not even...
Strength and honor for the...
Alright. So we've gotten our 3rd water sample. It's a little dicey. That one was actually protected. But yeah, and there's other games. There's also, I think I was just talking about this in a comment recently, that I would consider, like, I'm probably going to hit up Tears of the Kingdom. I've been playing the Heroes of Might and Magic series. I played through 1 from start to finish. On Heroes of Might and Magic 2, I had already played through that in the past, and I really just hadn't done the expansions. So I just decided to run through the campaign using the cheats. So I just did there's a cheat code where you can just fill yourself up with black dragons. So I just did that, and I just ran around and killed. Then Heroes of Might and Magic 3, I've never played anything 3 or beyond. So I've been playing that. I have been using one cheat, which is a cheat for infinite movement. And I just thought that was so appealing to be able to run around, and everything else, you fight, you learn, you do everything else the same, but to be able to kind of run around and do what you want each turn, and it eliminates the need for like other heroes. So I was able to I just kind of like it. I've been having fun. So I'm just goofing around. It's not anything to do like a show about, because what do you really need to watch me? It's kind of like when we played Beyond the Dark Portal, and I played through those using cheats on the camera. Like, who cares? I'm just using, like, those expansions were rough, and some of these older 90s games, like, it's either that or watch me save scum 85,000 times and really have trial and error, a lot of trial and error. Because those games were really, you would spend hours and hours and hours and hours. It's already long playing one. But it's pretty cool. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is fun. But I am going to get into Tears of the Kingdom soon. I'm doing the Diablo. The season stuff's going to come out. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'm having a lot of fun. I really underestimated the power of upgrading, so I play a druid on there, or the one I've been maining lately. I've been a druid, which you can, I'm focusing on a werewolf spec. So you're kind of like a semi-squishy melee fighter, similar to like a rogue. It's not the best. In terms of challenge, like it is fairly challenging. But at least you have a lot of, like, you have companions, so there's things I've learned as I played along the way. I've been not really using guides or anything, unlike what I normally do on WoW, where I go for meta builds. I've just been playing, making my own build, just doing what seems fun, going for the completion. But I hit a wall where the game was getting really hard, and then I unlocked some. Then I started focusing on making sure that I equipped legendaries in like every slot, and that allowed me to push through that wall. And the game started to get pinch harder, but then I hit the level 50 cap and I started unlocking the Paragon points. Then the game was getting easy. Then I switched over to the new difficulty, and it was getting difficult again. And then I realized because I was kind of stuck where I'm not getting the legendaries that I want, so all this higher level gear is dropping, but it doesn't have the legendary affixes that I need. So I'm stuck with crappier gear.
Greetings.
You have the water yet, Moan. Tales say the ruins were protected by large creatures of nature that do not care for visitors.
You couldn't have told me that beforehand?
Those could be myths to scare off the enemies of the Night Elves. Regardless, be careful. Wonderful, Moan. With all 3 samples gathered, I can create for you a vial of the purest water any living creature will find. It will be used in the next steps of your rite of passage. I am pleased to count you among our kind, Moan. You do all shaman proud, and I look forward to hearing about your exploits in the future.
Okay.
Island will have one more task for you before rewarding you with your next totem. The vial of water I've given you is necessary for whatever that task is. Go now and find her. We shall meet again someday.
Go forth to victory.
This quest chain is cheeks. So back to Island. So now I've got to go back up and fly back to Ratchet. Then I can walk back to her, and she has one more task of me. Hooray. That's exactly what I was hoping for, was another task. I don't want my water totems. Why would I want that? And I'm doing this all right now for Poison Cleansing Totem, and I think you maybe get Mana Stream Totem. We did this. I did not. I'm lying. We did not do this with my lady at all. So I think we did the first step, but because she's a shaman, but we didn't move on to the other spec. Like we didn't go to Hillsbrad. I don't think. We absolutely did not go up there to Ashenvale and do what I just did. So she just must not have her water totems. He can't be an alliance shaman. But yeah, there's a lot of the show that I'm looking forward to doing too. When we do Burning Crusade, I'm gonna do more like what I'm doing with my wife and myself, where I'm gonna make a Draenei shaman, and I'm gonna make a Blood Elf paladin, and that's it. I'm gonna make those 2 characters, and I'm gonna level them up through their respective starting zones: Blood Mist Isle, Azure Mist Isle, Ghostlands, and not Elwyn Forest. What's that other one called? Eversong Woods, maybe is what it's called. The Night Elf land that is Blood Elf land that's right there. Which will probably get them up into around level 20. You need to be about 60 to go into Outlands when you're playing Burning Crusade Classic. So then I will just randomly follow a leveling progression, and it will be stuff that we've technically done on this show. So we'll focus maybe less on the lore and more on the experience, because there's not a lot of new stuff, and we'll get them, but I will record the entire journey up to them getting to level 60, and then we will go through and follow both paths. Even if it's redundant, we'll follow the Alliance and Horde versions to get those things. The achievement system doesn't unlock. I thought really that unlocked. No, because you could get Lore Master. I don't remember when achievements unlocked, honestly. I thought it was Miss Pandaria, but I might be. Now I think I'm wrong.
Friend.
I'm 100% that I'm wrong. You could definitely get them, because I can remember getting Lore Master as an achievement, like maybe even when Burning Crusade was out. Working on it then. If not, Wrath of the Lich King for sure. It was different. The achievement was different. It was based on a quantity of quests. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. There's plenty of people that have done that journey. It's just it would just be so time consuming. You'd be going and playing every quest in the game again. And I've done it. I have done that. I've done it a couple times in the past. One of these days we'll pop on to some of my characters on retail and show. But even when I switch to retail, so and then what I'm going to do in Wrath of the Lich King is I'm going to make a Horde and an Alliance Death Knight, and I will also have those other two, the Draenei and the Horde, the Draenei and the Blood Elf in that server still, so I'll have two of each, and then I will just take them through their different zones. Maybe I'll alternate a little bit, because I think you have multiple paths you can kind of go through. Like, you could start at Valiant's Keep or Howling Fjord. There's Alliance and Horde quests for both. Dragon Blight, you can kind of do what you want there. But I think you could pretty much get that leveling curve from 70 to 80 without doing everything. So we can kind of just divide and conquer. I'll do every quest between everyone, but I won't, we'll just kind of spice it up, and then we'll cover any Death Knight specific stuff that's popped up. We'll cover the changes that have come from having an Alliance shaman and a Blood Elf. You know, we'll do all that. And then we'll switch to retail. And what we'll do on retail is, at that point, we will come back and fully switch over to the completely new characters. And I will make, what we're going to do is, by the time you hit retail now, class quests in Cataclysm are not really a thing like that anymore. So we will need one of every class, and the main reason being because we might need two of every class, and that's going to be because we need, we're going to need to, when we get to Legion, be able to do all the class campaigns, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. And the class campaigns are slightly different based on if you're Horde or Alliance, so we might need to create one of each. I don't think I might, but we have all the other expansions leading up to it. So I think doing as we kind of go, as soon as we hit retail, I'll break it down, and we'll have dedicated characters for each expansion. We'll have the vanilla, which has plenty of room. The leveling, the XP is so massive, and every zone scales, that we will be able to basically take characters, level them up until they hit, I don't know, whatever the current, I think 60 is again the current max needed for Dragonflight. Just take them to 60, pause switch, take them to 60, pause switch. Right.
What brings you here?
You've come further than many, Mole. Respect the elements around you. You shall fare far greater than most. Hello again, Mole. You're looking well. Brings you back to me so soon? Ah, vial of water created and blessed by brine and gathered by you, no less. The liquid in this vial will be key in creating a sapta for you, but also used in one of the tasks. The sapta I create for you should be used to see water spirits at the shrine in Silverpine Forest, south of the Undercity. The remaining drops I will tell you about your bit. Are you prepared for one more journey home? Gotta be kidding me. Along the coast of Silverpine, west of the Sepulchre, you will find a shrine that has become tainted by the plague. The spirits there no longer speak to our people, and it will be up to you to defeat the manifestation and cleanse the pool. Take the elemental's bracers along with the remaining drops of Brian's potion and place them in the brazier. The ritual should be enough to summon a pure spirit for you to communicate with. Bring me proof this task is done, and I will reward you with your totem. Okay, guys, so I can't do it. I can't do a journey all the way to Silverpine and back on this episode. Sorry, this is too much. Especially with the Hearthstone off. So, on the next episode, we will continue this journey. We will go back to Orgrimmar, take the Zeppelin over to here, fly in the Undercity, down to Sepulchre. We will then take the journey, walk over from Sepulchre to here. We'll do this.
We'll then hearth back to the crossroads, because by then since it'll be off camera, since it'll be cooling down for the next week or so, it'll be ready for us to hearth back over. But that's too much. It's going to add another 30 minutes on to this episode to do that. And also, a big part of that will be having to come back. So it'll be a minimum 30 minutes, whereas we can cut at least half of our travel time off if we finish that. But that's just too much. So this episode we will have done most of the Call of Water. We will finish it up next time to start off going into Stone Talon, which is really our true goal, is to go here and start doing Stone Talon. But too much back and forth. Like, this is ridiculous. And now we have to go back to Sepulcher. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that on the next one. Sorry we didn't quite get it done, but I can't in good conscience add another 30-40 minutes on this episode when we could cut it probably down to 15 minutes just doing that part. If we 15 to 20, which will be how we start the next episode. Thank you everyone for listening to me ramble, for watching me run around, for completing most of the Call of Water chain with me, and we'll finish that one up next time we visit Muln. I thank you everybody so much for watching, for listening, for tuning in. We got another episode in the pipe, 5x5, and I'll see you next time on Lore of Warcraft.